Yeah, hello everybody. So in this class, we are going to discuss about the introduction of microprocessors. As all of you know, from childhood onwards, so a computer heart is lies within a CPU, nothing but central processing unit, and that central processing unit day by day is getting improved in its performance, either in terms of many number of modules embedded on the same, and comparing the low power consumption, compared low power consumption, and having a higher speed day by day. It is getting increased because of the invention of the microprocessor. So let me see what do you mean by a microprocessor and a microcontroller. Microprocessor is actually a CPU, but it is going to do within micro. It is going to execute the set of instruction within microseconds of time. Hence, it is going to be called as microprocessor. And coming to the straight difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. Microprocessor for uh, for containing ALU, control unit, and registers, it will have one chip, and for all other peripherals like memory and ADC module, other peripheral module will be available in other ICs, and these are all going to be assembled to form a microprocessor based system. So in this way, microprocessor for ALU, CU, and registers one chip, and for remaining maybe one chip or other chip, one chip or some other number of chips. These are going to be assembled to form a system. Whereas coming to a microcontroller, in a microcontroller, if you observe, so all what we call ALU, CU, and register arrays, along with that memory, input, output ports, timers, and some other peripherals that will be available on a single chip. Hence, this is going to be very much useful whenever you are doing some specific application like embedded system. Okay, so embedded system which is useful for achieving some specific target. Hence, a microcontroller will contain all required peripherals on the single chip. And as the microprocessor unit, we call it as general purpose based system, because based upon the requirement, based upon the application, so we are going to add it and we are going to assemble it to form that general purpose system. Whereas in microcontroller, it is useful for implementing a special purpose system. So this is the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. And let me see the various features of 8086. This 8086 will be treated as a reference for many number of processors that are available now. So whatever the Pentium processor are there, i3, i5, all these processors are there. So for all these processors, the reference, we call it as the 8086. Therefore, anyone to understand the latest microprocessor has to undergo the basic codes related to this 8086. Has to understand about 8086. So let me see the features of 8086. So this is actually a 16-bit microprocessor. Originally in 4004 is a first microprocessor, but it is only for 4-bit. It is not applicable for making an system. Then after we got 808, 8008, and 8080, but they are also not meant for a general purpose system or for making some system. But here is the first system we can take into consideration, that is nothing but the 16-bit microprocessor 8086, which is developed by Intel in 1978, which can be treated as a general purpose system. From this onwards, whatever the processors came into the existence, into the industry, are going to be the useful for making some general purpose system. And it is developed based on HMOS technology, like CMOS technology, NMOS technology. So there is one more technology called as a hybrid MOS technology. This is advanced to the NMOS technology. So this technology used here for developing this microprocessor, and it is containing around 29,000 of transistors, and it is available in a tip form GL in package containing 40 pins, and it is supplied with 5 volts, and it doesn't having the internal clock. Hence from external side it is going to get clock which is having 33% duty cycle, and it is also asymmetric. This is sufficient for the microprocessor, and it is a 16-bit microprocessor and 20-bit address. So it has 16-bit data and 20-bit address bus. As it is having 20-bit address bus, hence it can address about 2 port 20, that is nothing but 1 megabyte of memory that it is capable to address. And this address 1 megabyte can be divided into 2 parts, calling it as even bank and odd bank, each of 512 KB, 512 KB, for easy accessing and controlling. In this way they have divided, and for accessing even bank, a bit calling it as A0 is used, and for controlling even bank, for accessing our bank, BHE bar, bus high enable bar, is going to be useful. And by using a 16-bit address, we can have access about 2 port 16 IO device, nothing but 64 kilo. Such many input output ports can be accessed by the MIC 8086. And one more main feature of this 8086 is it is available in 2 modes, calling it as minimum mode and maximum mode. Minimum mode useful for a system having single processor, and a maximum mode whenever we are having a system containing multiple processor. Because of multiple processor, the application can be extended for dealing of a complex system. So these are the important features of 8086 processor along with the introduction. Thank you.